Hello and welcome to my art update podcast thingy by my soft voice. You can probably guess that this is another evening recording, and it's true. I'm recording 6 minutes before midnight on Friday, August 18th. And why am I doing that? I promised you a longer episode this week. I promised you a scripted episode this week, but you know what? Things have not gone according to plan. Yeah. So why don't I just go through what happened this week? This is not scripted. So let me just go day by day. Wow. I got a lot. We did the show. We did the show since the last time I recorded. And I have many feelings about that. But I think getting into them now would be very rambly, and I'd like to gather my thoughts. I have not had yet time to gather my thoughts. So... yeah, we did the show. It happened. It was complete. And then we had a little cast party. And then this week, which was supposed to be my week to catch up, began. And on Monday, I went into the theater. So Chris had a member of the ensemble, who was the lighting guy, had said that he had suggested that we go in on Monday to reset the lights to a house plot because the show plot was so weird. And then Saturday, though, he told me he wasn't going to do that, sort of offhandedly. So then having booked the space already, I didn't want to waste it. So I contacted one of my usual lighting designers, Xander Coleman, and he said he was available. So Monday, Xander, myself, and Hemi, because his daycare is closed this week, went in with me to do lighting. So we spent about 12 hours hanging, focusing, and doing, just basically hanging and focusing the beginnings of a basic house plot. So that was intense. There's still some work to do there, but it's up and functional now. So if I had to do a show in there tomorrow, I would have lights. And I would be able to light the stage. So that's good. That was Monday. Tuesday, what happened Tuesday? Tuesday, it was a lot of running around. I needed to, my son, so Hammy, was still home from daycare, and we had to go. He'd lost his train pass last weekend on the bus, so we had to go to the bus office. So we walked over there in the blazing heat because it was just where it's located. It was kind of inconvenient to get to by public transportation. So we walked over there. We did that. And then we went to the passport office to pick up his passport. And that basically took most of the afternoon. The morning I was beginning to process photos. But of course, I couldn't find the archival photos. So it's common practice in theater shows to take archival photos, which means you take photos of sort of key scenes for use later, especially in a show like this where we didn't have anyone shooting the show live, because that's the two of us who would have done that were actually running the show while I was running sound and Kendall was running video. So we weren't able, or live stream rather. So we weren't able to do that. So we did the archival photo shoot. He shot with one camera, I shot with the other, and all of his photos were missing. So I spent Tuesday looking for them and didn't find them as well. What else? And then, okay, so that was Tuesday. Wednesday, what happened? That was another sort of surprise. So Hammy and I stayed home again that day. And, that was the day I was basically fighting with the computer to try to get the photos back. And I found them in the end. They were on a card that we deleted, I think, to prep it for use for video. I'm not sure how that happened. Either Kendall or I did it. Anyway, I managed to find the photos and rescue them. Oh, that's right. Hammy had a friend over that afternoon. That sort of sucked a lot of time. And in the morning, I was having to crack the whip because he's got a crap ton of homework from, like, summer homework from school. What else? That was Wednesday shot. Thursday, Hammy was supposed to go back to daycare, but yeah, I decided to keep him with me that day so that my wife wouldn't have to make his lunch, because I can't do it. I'm not allowed to, because if I do it, it's slapping 2 pieces of bread together with peanut butter or whatever, and yeah, it needs to be rice balls, and they need to be made in a particular way, and they need to contain fish, which I don't cook because I don't eat it. So anyway, that was Thursday. He was home, and we had so Thursday, actually, I was supposed to go into the theater and grab the costuming stuff, some of the costuming stuff. I'd washed some of it here. Like, I'd brought the costumes that were like worn by people here, and I washed all the sort of shirts, I washed everything that sort of directly touched the skin. So like first layer stuff, and I'd hung that out and I was ready to go. So I took that to the theater thinking, okay, I'm going to take that. I'm going to pick up all the other stuff that has to go, and I'm going to take that to our storage container. And I got there and I realized 2 things. One, there was way too much stuff for one person to carry. And 2, I'd forgotten the key because I'd changed bags that morning because the other bag was lighter, and I forgot to transfer the key over. So I didn't have the key to the storage facility anyway. And then Kendall came in, and we needed to transfer video from his hard disk to my hard disk so that I have copies of it. He's doing some editing of footage we shot during the rehearsals for the show, but I still needed the footage from him. So we did that, and then we went for lunch, and then we did something else in the afternoon. So Hammy's got a book report he's got to do, so we had to go to the library to get a book. So on the way home, we went to the library, and we got home, and then he had to go off to his cram school, Juku, and that gave me like an hour, and I thought, you know what? So I turned on the computer that I do all the Lightroom work on, thinking I had a couple more photos I had to process, and it started bleeping errors at me because the system drive, which is really small, it's only like 100 gigs, was full. And rather than fight with that, I actually bought a 2 terabyte M2 drive to plug into that computer like a month and a half ago, and I haven't had time to hook it in. So I thought I'll just pop that in. I'll clone the system drive over to that, and then that'll solve that problem. Well, wouldn't you know that took me basically until this morning to finish. So yeah, so much for my week of work, and so much for getting this thing out to you earlier with some art in it. And yeah, so here I am Friday night recording this. Oh, and apparently I've gone back in time. I guess it was 36 or something, because now it says 11:43, so I haven't crossed midnight yet. That's great. I'm not sure I'll get this out posted before midnight, but at least I'll probably finish up the recording before that. Yeah, so that was my week. It was kind of rough. I got a lot of stuff done, but not the stuff I'd originally necessarily set out to get done. And a few roadblocks in my way. And today, so today Hammy was back at his daycare. I didn't finish. I got the computer booting off the M2 drive. I still have some work to do. It turns out the old SSD is sort of bolted to the motherboard, and I've got to get that off so I can use it somewhere else, because it's pretty much useless at that size in that machine. And yeah, that was it then. I went out for lunch with Junwoo, another former lighting designer, because we haven't seen each other in a while. Needed to talk some shop about possible future projects. So I won't give any spoilers on those. And then if any, came back, picked up the kid, did a couple hours of faffing around, and off to piano lesson and back home, and that sort of, put him to bed. That's where I am now. So that was my week. I'm sorry for the excruciating detail. This is what happens when I don't script. I will get something scripted for you next week, and hopefully a poem or something. And yeah, and I want to talk more about the show when I sort of have the energy and brain power to do that. All right, so that's it for this week's update. Thank you so much for listening. If you're like wondering what the heck this is, because I didn't do the usual disclaimer at the beginning, this is just an art update for people who know me. I talk about what I've been doing for the last week. Sometimes there's a lot of personal updates, although I try to keep it to the art stuff I'm working on. But that's not the way it rolled this week. So anyway, thank you for listening. And I'll catch you next time, I hope. Andrew out.